Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hindsight Podcast. We're back for another episode of the show, and a lot of things go down on a Friday night. And IBK will soon tell us that story of how he spent his Friday the last time I was a returning knee on the knee. It's been what, 2 months there about, no?
Yeah.
Where do you go to?
Walk. December.
Why do you have the shirt buttoned up to the end? Like, did you go to
guy.
private school?
No.
The corporate guy.
I want to look
style,
different from.
Who corporate help?
Right. Abike has a player grade jersey today. Abike, is that okay?
I don't change club now. You know. See. I don't leave that. I don't leave that Europa League merchants. No, they go to play there. No, they go to play the Europa League.
We will not allow it to slide. How did your last Friday? How did it go?
Anything do last Friday?
So I'll just put you on
Open
blast.
up now. Open up
I'll put it on blast. IBK,
Bro, I video called you guys to see that I have a latest, how would I say it, a news going around the world. And you people need to know about it.
Which news?
One sport news. Now I video call you. The next
Which sport news?
Actually, you know,
IBK was.
What time?
Okay, where you did that time? Where you did?
You know when
Yeah,
your
they
rapper will
work.
say. You know when your
Which
rapper will
work?
say.
I did work
OTU.
now.
They
I think it
work
was
for
gone.
12 a.m.
Yes, now. I was at a show. I was at a concert.
So where may I come
In
there?
fact, I was at a TV show. You were at the club, or was it a lounge?
It wasn't a club. Actually, it was a lounge.
It was a lounge.
So the reason
yeah,
is
actually open ground, open space lounge. You're having a good time. I
Yeah.
could see from the look on your face on the video call.
That
You've had a couple of bottles.
Somebody.
The call came in after a couple of bottles had gone down.
I mean,
Because I could see you were smiling for no reason.
I dey smile normally now.
Nah, I think the only reason.
And you was even eating around that time.
Yeah, I was eating around 12.
It happens.
I don't have a pot belly, so I feel afford them. You know, if you afford them.
You be me say me go marry.
You know, if you afford them.
You be me say me go
So what's
marry.
happening this Friday? You see, the
Share
atrocity
location.
that you committed was that, we did this show last week on Thursday. You didn't say anything. And then on Friday,
But
you went...
I just met myself there, man. I just met myself there.
Then on Friday, you went out alone. Now, after you have had like a couple of bottles, you now decided to call us
you.
so that we should see you.
Say,
I'm enjoying my life.
You see, number one, you guys Fridays are always booked because of
Booked
that.
with what?
That particular show. Yes, now.
AM turn on Friday.
Now.
Yeah.
You guys Fridays
You
are
invite
always
me, I
booked
don't
and
come.
Bro, I go tell you, me you leave that kind of thing, they come where I
No,
do.
the thing is, I actually have a radio show on Friday evenings. Funny thing is that the show lasts for only 30 minutes, right? It's a La Liga show, lasts for only 30 minutes. And the problem with the show is that it's at 9 o'clock. And I can't be on the mainland because of that show, but I'm only on the island for 30 minutes alone. And I can't start leaving. For me, common rule is that once I'm somewhere by 10 o'clock in the night, that is not 5 minutes from my house. I can't go or 10 minutes from my house. It's just a common rule. SARS and all that stuff. You don't want to get you don't want to be in crossfire.
stress.
No, it's just security measures, yeah.
I mean, I feel go anywhere.
If you tell me I can begin to come mainland from by 9 o'clock in the night, man, it'll be hard.
I don't get what I do, but you don't invite me.
It'll be hard.
You talk say you did somewhere now.
Speaking of invites, gentlemen,
Everybody's
let's move on. Speaking of invites, what's happening this Friday? Let us know in the comments. What do you do on a Friday evening? What happens on a regular evening on a weekend? We have a packed weekend for sure. We have this gentleman Wole Oluwole Ola is getting married, and we're gonna be there on Saturday. He sent us as an associate producer to join us on the podcast.
And
So,
Abigail is hosting a bachelor's eve.
yeah, Abigail, you're doing the bachelor's leave, yeah?
You can do it, bro.
Yeah.
Abigail, how much are you spraying?
Go
on
IBK.
IBK. Let's put it out.
How much are you spraying?
100 to 100K.
100 to 100K. Love it. Fantastic.
All right.
I hope you're coming though.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
I will
Great
come
stuff.
ask you for money on Sunday.
You can't say
I think it'll be a little reunion. It's a little sort of a rendezvous for all the guys to just have a great time. So that's that. So a couple of things have happened the last week. I was actually struggling to make up what we should speak about. I asked IBK, of course, went in the popular direction. Barcelona. I'm like, I thought Xavi coming changed everything. But let's start off with Chelsea, and I think what we've seen in the last 2 weeks is that it is easy, or maybe not easy. It is difficult to get to the top, but to stay at the top is incredibly hard work. You have to work incredibly hard, twice as hard to stay at the top.
Sure.
Is that what we're seeing with Chelsea, Rufai? That the players are not quite elite yet. So you have a couple of players like Kante, of course,
Kovacic.
Kovacic, Lukaku. I don't see only 3 elite players in the team, Aspilicueta as well. The rest of the players need to realize that they're not quite on that level yet of, say, Bernardo Silva, Mo Salah, Mane, Fabinho, and the likes.
I don't think the issue with what has happened in the last 2 games, I don't think it's down to the fact that the players are not elite yet. I think some of the elite players that you mentioned are even some of the ones that put the team in trouble, including the manager. So for me, I think the Champions League game, last night, 100% the fault goes to the manager, as far as I'm concerned. But with the players as well, the West Ham game, for example, they are beginning to get to that place where I feel like, we're invincible. Where it's not about them not being elite. They are good players. They might not be. Yes, they are not elite.
Elite is not just in physical ability, but also in the mentality.
In mentality, I agree. But you see, it's not about that, we're not on this person's level. That's why we cannot produce this kind of performance. It's about the fact that there is a lack of concentration or complacency.
But that's what makes you not elite.
Well, if you put it that way, but what I'm saying is that, yes, they are not as good, talent-wise as maybe Bernardo Silva. Some of those players are playing the same position. The mentality is also there. But I'm saying that it is not about the talent. It is not about, I've played so...
It's not for the want of they not having...
Exactly. It's just a case of, for no reason whatsoever, you are getting to a point where, you don't have that killer instinct. The complacency is beginning to trickle in. And I started from the Manchester United game. You had control of the game, in terms of possession and all that. And then United scored. And people said Jorginho made a mistake. And I said that wasn't an honest mistake. He tried to do a little showboat. Was what turned into that mistake. So, and he did that against West Ham. It was a bad pass. You saw Bowen pressing the goalkeeper and you made the pass nonetheless. So then you go to the manager, and I've seen this before with previous Chelsea managers. I don't know if it's a thing of the kind of club that Chelsea is. When it doesn't go well, the manager, there's a limit to how the manager can go after the players, because the players know that if we go against the manager, they're going to fire him. Yeah, so maybe the manager also, in a case like they're not performing too well, I have to lay off them. There's a limit to how much I can bash them. Because I'm looking at the situation where...
You think Tuchel is that kind of guy that can't go after the players?
I don't think
he might be the kind of guy. I don't think, but he's at Chelsea.
So the reason the story is has come up is that I saw a story, I think on Monday or something like that, and I think it was a Champions League interview, a pre-match interview. Pep was speaking to the media and said, "Look, Kevin De Bruyne is back, but he has to, win his place back in the team." And I thought, hold on, what's happening here?
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking De Bruyne, no? I mean, is it Zinchenko because they look alike, right? And I just realized that I think, aside Sir Alex, I don't think any manager has wielded that kind of power in football before.
No,
the type that Pep wields.
None.
Is almost, I think he's, it goes without saying he's the most important player. He's the most important personnel at Man City.
Exactly.
I think he's at the same level as the owners in terms of importance to the club. So if you tell Kevin De Bruyne that, he needs to work his way back into the team, that tells you, that sends shockwaves through the whole team. Yeah. And I feel like that's where, the Chelsea situation comes.
That's different. That's what I mean.
I don't think it's a different ball game. When you look at the Chelsea team earlier in the season when they were playing very well, injuries, they didn't have injuries in the team. People were saying that look at the Chelsea bench, they can actually play. We can field another starting 11 that will be as good as the first starting 11. And I think with the injuries that they have in the team now, I think they're starting to realize that the players that they expect will step up. They thought Saul coming from Atletico Madrid, when Kante or Kovacic is not around, he will come in and step in and do the job. But that has not been the case. And Pep Guardiola saying that Kevin De Bruyne will have to fight for his place in the team is because the players that have come in to do the job while Kevin De Bruyne was out injured, they've been doing the job perfectly. Now, if Kante comes back from injury, definitely Kante will get back into the team straight because they have solely missed Kante in the midfield. Same thing with Kovacic. Same thing with Thiago Silva. If he's fit, you expect Thiago Silva to start in the team. But
that's actually not the case at City. Once you get out of the team, you have to walk your way back into the team.
The next player coming into the team
it's not an automatic selection.
It's actually very different. You look at the characters of the managers and what they've done over the years. I think the only reason Guardiola can talk to any player is because of his antecedents. You know, when you have manager who has practically won everything. I remember when Tuchel talked about, you know, his challenges at PSG, and he said he couldn't talk to some of the players. Some of the players were above, you know, instructions.
Reprimand.
You can't say. You imagine Tuchel saying that, talking to De Bruyne like that. He can't say it. That's the truth. You demand. He has not gotten to that level.
I don't think he has not gotten to that level. I don't think so.
Explain what you mean by he has not gotten to the level.
I just told you to that level.
I just told you that was how Guardiola was in his first job.
Your antecedents matters a lot.
That's what I'm asking.
Your success rate, you know, earns you that respect.
And you're saying Guardiola can do that because of what he has done before.
Yes, people
and I'm
respect
telling
him.
you that the first job Guardiola had at Barcelona, he has always been like that. Guardiola walked into the Barcelona job
and said, I don't want Deco.
Said Ronaldinho is out.
I don't want Deco. I don't want Gio.
Deco is out. Because he knew those players would not listen to him at that point.
He knew
those players would not listen to him at that point.
No. What you are saying is that a guy that has not won anything doesn't have the power or the leverage to do that. But I'm telling you that Guardiola did it at Barcelona.
Speaking of managers and power, I think we started off from, you know, why Chelsea are floundering at the moment. And I honestly, my honest opinion is that you cannot get high on your supply.
That's what I think has happened. The manager and the players.
And the players.
Both of them.
The players and the manager, that's happened. I also feel like, for me, which is where it's a bit of a contradiction, we have to give a lot of credit to Tuchel for the work he has done, because I think that, you know, he's been there for maybe 8 months. I think he was hired in January or something like that, right? 10 months, something like that. Yeah. I think the system has shielded the players' deficiencies. At the first sign of the system, and let's not forget, people are getting used to the system. People are getting better at understanding what he's doing, because people say, oh, but he's not the first person to play that system, but the way he iterated the system is actually like one of the first to do the way he's doing it.
So here's my issue. And that's why, you know, I said the game yesterday, Tuchel 100% is at fault. You just lost to West Ham. You're a top manager. I mean, now you're in a place where you won the Champions League, you've done a fantastic job. You're one of the guys that are saying, you know, one of the best managers in the world now. And you just lost to West Ham. Ordinarily, in my mind, I'm thinking, you want to win that game, not just because you needed to win the group, but because you just lost to West Ham. You need to get back. You haven't won in two. You drew against United. You lost against West Ham. So the game against Zenit St. Petersburg.
So what did you do wrong?
The game against Watford, and he even struggled. He struggled in the game
against Zenit St. Petersburg, right? You're traveling to Russia. At home, it was a difficult game where you won 1-0. Now you're going to Russia, and I'm thinking, you know, you've played 3 at the back all season. The day you decide to play 4 defenders at the back, you decided to play Malang Sarr and Christensen. I watched the first time I saw Malang Sarr at Chelsea. Ask him. I said, this guy can't play for Chelsea because he's even slow. He can't run. So when you play Malang Sarr in a 4, right?
Was that a 4 yesterday?
It was. He started with a 4.
Yeah,
so he played Malang Sarr, Christensen. What's his name? What's his name?
Rhys James. Is it Rhys James?
Malang Sarr, Christensen. There was
what's his name?
Saul.
Azpilicueta started, and then Saul. Right? That was what he did.
I mean, it's
but really.
And then he played with James in middle. What's his name? Mason Mount.
That's why I feel like.
Are you saying it's
getting high on
tactics
supply
or the players he used yesterday? Where did he get to?
No, I'm saying the tactics. First of all, the players. The way you select the players. The team was too. There was no balance whatsoever, right? So you played Saul at left back. He's never played there for Chelsea. You play him beside Malang Sarr. 2 guys that are not very. So that's a problem, number 1.
What's he trying to settle?
You understand? That's a problem. And then you play with James in midfield. You had Loftus-Cheek on the bench. So I'm thinking, why are you saving these players for? There's Rudiger on the bench, there's Thiago Silva on the bench, there's Hakim Ziyech on the bench, there's Loftus-Cheek on the bench.
You need to win the game to top the group.
What are you? And you need. So why are you saving the players?
that's what I buttress the point I made that without Chelsea first 11, the strongest 11, other players coming in can't do the job. Like, 37-year-old Thiago Silva, and he's like the best defender, whether I would like it or not. Without Thiago Silva in that defense, they're all over the place. And it shouldn't be the case.
So, so is it a temporary problem, or
is
it a sign of a deeper problem at Chelsea?
Yeah.
Or, because what I have noticed with manager and cycles is that you have a good, fantastic run, and something happens.
Yeah.
And if you don't sort it out almost immediately,
it goes on.
It becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem, and don't make no mistake about it. All the media praise Tuchel has had. It takes a moment for. I think a journalist asked him a question yesterday and said, why do you think the players are not listening to you? And he responded and said, normally you are a nice guy, so I won't be offended by the question you just asked me. So the manager starts to get irritated by little things
questions.
because all of a sudden he doesn't get that protection that he has enjoyed for so long, and all those things have a way of filtering into the little
team.
cracks of and before you know it, little cracks become real.
Yeah, real. It started
real
with the 3
problems.
actually.
Started
with the 3
yeah.
actually. So
Started
my
with 3.
issue was, you had Malang Sarr and then you had Saul. I remember you were saying, you can't play Saul here when you are getting half from this guy, and then you play Reece James in midfield.
Well, you're getting half from him as well.
So play Reece James in his right position.
Get a full mark from him there.
You get it. So do you understand? Play someone else at left back, so everybody knows this is where I've played all season.
Is that thing Pep? I think there's a simplicity in there's genius in simplicity.
There is.
And for me, that's the thing that Tuchel has done excellently well since he's come to Chelsea. He's done the simple things excellently well.
Sure.
So when you start trying to,
Trick
in my
things.
opinion, be unnecessarily adventurous, and that's a problem. Look, for months and years, I don't think any manager has been under the kind of pressure Jurgen Klopp has been to convert Trent Alexander-Arnold to a midfield player.
Yeah.
But he looked at the kid and said,
you can't do that.
You see,
This kid's going to play here.
The thing about it
everyone
is
will
you
be
can be a
Pep.
very good player, a very, very good player. But you see, playing in midfield, and the top midfield players will always tell you have to have eyes all around your head.
Yeah.
So when you bring a guy that has played all his career, and a young guy also,
But
that's
Guardiola
played,
did it with Kimmich.
listen, you see, I'm telling you, when you bring a young guy,
Do you know how intelligent Kimmich is?
do you understand? and guess what?
You cannot name 5 defenders from the last 10 years
Yeah.
that are as ball savvy as Kimmich.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
for everything,
Yeah.
you're always going
Yeah.
to find those exceptions. We talked about 19-year-olds conquering the world. There's Kylian Mbappe. You never find anyone like him.
Sure.
Maybe in another 10 years, only one of them will always come. So it will happen. But when you bring a guy that plays on the wing, you see, it's like when you're training to fight. If you've watched Southpaw, right? When the guy was going to go into his last this thing, and for us, we think I was training the guy. You put a rope across the ring, right, for him to be able to practice his movement when he's fighting the guy.
Yeah.
So you have to go over the rope and come back. So when you are playing on the wing, it's like there's a wall on this side.
Yeah.
Right? When I control the ball, I don't have to worry about players coming from my
from
right hand
this
side.
side,
I don't have to worry about
You are
players coming
used
from
to- you are
here.
used
So when they
to-
take you from there and then you go to the midfield,
Where
you noticed it
everyone
yesterday
is-
that
everyone is
it
around
was-
you.
All of a sudden,
he's not moving.
He was flat-footed. I think when you play midfield, you cannot be. I don't think there's any point you can be like this.
No,
You always have to be like
You're
this.
always,
Yeah.
you're
You
always,
know,
you're
right.
always.
You always look. You have to look. So I think I like to
Always
think this.
guiding.
I like to think it's a temporary blip from
Yeah, I
from
think
Chelsea.
it will be. I think it will be.
Yeah, temporary stuffer. So, in speaking of that, I wanted to look at the teams that have qualified into the round of 16, and I think it's almost that point where clubs, especially in the Champions League, more or less revisit their objectives for the season. So, I saw a comment from Carlo Ancelotti, and he said, "Look, we're doing well in Spain. 8 points clear of a second place team." They eventually topped the group in Champions League.
Probably
Are they as
extend to 11.
good? I think it was asked the target for the Champions League, and he said,
Yeah.
"Look, target is to make the final." And I said, "Look, how good are Real Madrid in a one-off or a two-off game?"
Yeah.
Yeah, if they play a team that I think we had a little back and forth on if City and Liverpool played together for a title played each other for a title, who'd come out tops. And I was speaking to Rafa, I said, look, I still don't think that there are many players in a one-off game, the way Real Madrid are playing at the moment. You see what Kroos did yesterday? Modric and Casemiro that looks like he's getting back to his best. I think that only Bayern Munich and maybe Liverpool.
No, not maybe Liverpool.
Yeah, Bayern Munich and maybe Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool can say for sure before the game we are favourites going into a Real Madrid game. Mm-hmm. Because when it gets to December like this, I think everybody has realised that Chelsea are not as strong.
Yeah, Chelsea's strong.
If they don't play with Kante. Right? Of course, United are not in the conversation. Right? Who else is in the competition? Juventus are not in the competition.
Nah.
So we're looking at genuinely Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool. I think that City in a big game get cold feet. I don't know. There's something they haven't quite figured out in playing about.
I think it's more of a psychological stuff.
It's more psychological.
Because we're talking Madrid, I think Chelsea are in the conversation. Because we're talking Madrid. And the reason is...
Can Chelsea beat Madrid now? If that game was played in January, the knockout phase starts in February, right? Right, and a lot can change between now and that time.
Yeah.
But if the draws are made now and it's a Chelsea Madrid game, will Madrid be worried about that game?
No, I don't think.
I think they will be.
No, I think they will be.
I think
Okay, fine. I think both teams, of course, will be worried. But would they be terrified the way Barcelona were terrified at meeting Bayern?
I think last time they played Chelsea, they were not terrified.
There's balance.
Madrid will never be terrified, to play anyone.
Especially in the Champions League.
You pair them with Bayern Munich, they're in trouble.
There's no team you pair with Bayern Munich right now.
No way. The guys that will pee in their pants, there's some of them in the Madrid team. But there are loads of players in that team. Pair them against anyone, we'll play. Yeah, we might be weaker, they might be stronger than us, but I don't think you pair anyone with Madrid that will make Toni Kroos pee in his pants. That will make Luka Modric pee in his pants. I don't think so.
I think Bayern Munich send. I think Bayern Munich send.
Bayern Munich will beat them.
Shivas
No. Bayern Munich will beat them. But I'm saying these players, there's nobody you pair them with. This Toni Kroos, this Luka Modric, Casemiro, that will make them pee in their pants. But I said Chelsea will be in the conversation also because we talked about the blip that Chelsea's had. I think is temporary. And a lot of it has been self-inflicted. They played United, Jorginho did what he did. They played West Ham, Mendy did what he did. And then the manager decided to do what he did yesterday. So I'm saying that if they go into a game, which is why I was very surprised with what Tuchel did yesterday. They go into a game, head perfectly screwed on, a complete team.
Yeah.
I think Madrid are in for a game.
Yeah, I think at the moment only Bayern Munich and
Liverpool.
Liverpool can comfortably say we're going to give them a serious game. Yeah. So season objectives, right? How far do you think Chelsea go in Champions League at the moment if the draws are made?
Well, like I was saying, like I told you this morning, I think it's going to be one of the toughest round of 16. Whether you finish first or second, you have a very big chance of facing, a powerhouse like yourself. That's why
I wasn't really bothered about it.
And again, let's not forget that the away goal rules are out of it now. Yeah. You don't have that. So I think it will be more balanced. Now you have teams play their style, not look at how many goals they have to concede. It boils down to before it boils down to who can take the moment. But now it boils down to what you can do on the pitch. Yes, how you can bring your tactics into play.
Who is
the question is how far do you think Chelsea can go?
How far do you think Chelsea can go?
Well, with the current squad, I think they should be able to make semi-final. Yeah,
I think they're still good enough to win it. But obviously, Bayern are the best team in Europe right now. But you know how it works. If you don't play Bayern, they're the best team in Europe. If you don't play them till you get to the finals, then you never know who you meet in the finals. You get so, but I think they are good enough to win it because, what has happened again is been.
So Chelsea plays City.
Yeah, I think Chelsea.
I don't think Chelsea will beat City. I don't think Chelsea will beat City
at the moment.
Especially because of that away goal rule. The thing is that it makes people like. Coaches like Guardiola now will be happy because they will play their game. You don't have to run away with one. When you score, you have to defend that. You know that.
If you play Chelsea,
never been like that.
I'm not saying Guardiola. I'm saying the teams that play.
If you play Chelsea,
if you realize that the past seasons, teams that play City go for this more like away goal rule system.
Yeah,
you get the goal, you try and shove up your back, you don't
Yeah.
concede. But now you know that.
But they can still do it now. Nobody says
Yeah, I know they can still do it, but just
you can still do it now. I can still defend against City. I'm going to play on the
the
counter.
away goal rule is no longer there. So
What
does it change?
And that's why I argued that removing the away goal, I don't see any advantage.
So
honestly, I don't see any advantage to removing the away goal.
we have a full-on episode on the away goal rule, and I think we'll post it at some point in time.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, what does taking out the away goal rule change? Because I honestly think that it depends on who plays at home first, or who plays away first. If we have a game in your house first, I think I still have the advantage. Because, you see, there's a reason that games are played simultaneously on the final day of a season, on the final day of a group stage. Because what it does is, we're playing at the same time, you don't have the knowledge
of what is going on,
of what's going to happen, what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So, in the moment, you have to think on your feet and do your best on your feet. Your manager has to think on his feet, players have to think on his feet. You have to bring your A game in that moment. When I play the first game in your home, right, and we give you a run for your money, right, when we come back to my house, I have 1 week or 2 weeks to think about the best way to execute the game, right? I feel like any slight advantage, even as small as having that 1 week to think about it more, is a big advantage. So in that sense, what has happened is you've taken away the away goal rule, which gives, of course, both teams the advantage. What I said at the time that goal rule was taken was that take it out from extra time. Everybody goes to back to zeros. Yeah, everybody goes back to, so
everything goes out.
I think that there's still a bit of advantage in who plays home and away first.
Let's go back to 2009, the Chelsea Barcelona game where Iniesta scored the last minute goal. So the first leg was played at Camp Nou, and then the second leg was Stamford Bridge.
0-0 Camp Nou.
Yeah, 0-0 Camp Nou. Michael Essien scored, and then last minute. So when you say you take out the away goal rule, so that people it will stop people from defending, because the away goal rule, kills the attacking side of the game. And I said it at the time, I think it's trash talk, it's nonsense talk.
Yeah.
Because you see, that 2009 game, if the away goal rule is the reason why Barcelona went through, right? Without the away goal rule, it goes to extra time, it goes to penalty. So the only thing you have taken out is the excitement of the away goal rule. It remains the way it is. The fact that you have removed it doesn't stop anybody to play City and defend and counter them. It does not stop them. City come to my house, I know they are better than me. I go to their house, I know they are better than me. I defend and I hit them on the counter. I know they are better everywhere. Yeah. I sit back, I hit them on the counter, I score a couple of goals, I continue defending. Yeah. Do you understand? So it doesn't change anything.
But then again, look at the Tottenham Hotspur City game, I think 2019,
that final.
Tottenham Hotspur won 1-0 at their stadium, and when they went to City, ordinarily the game should have gone into extra time. But because of City did not score when they went away to Tottenham Hotspur, and against at Etihad, Tottenham Hotspur got a goal. No, it ended. I think 4-4, 3-3, 3-3 on aggregate. It ended on aggregate. Yeah. So, but it was because of the away goal rule. That was why Tottenham was qualified. Same thing in the semi-final. Tottenham against Ajax. Ajax. I think Ajax defeated Tottenham. And of course Tottenham came back, and they scored maybe 3 goals there about. Without the away goal rule, the game would have gone to extra time. So I think stuff like that, I also like it, but I would have also preferred that alongside the away goal rule, they take away the extra time, because play 90 minutes in your house and we are playing 120 in my I
also feel like
it's not fair.
I also feel like there is a chance that a slight chance, right? But I think there is a chance that we go back to the one city host
knockout.
Knockout.
I don't think
because the way the COVID thing is
forced.
No, that's what I'm saying. The way it's going, right? Tottenham have 13 players out. Leicester have some 8 players out, something like that.
8.
If that rule continues up until, let's say, April thereabouts, and countries start restricting and all that stuff, because that's what's going to happen, then we might go back to the 2020 knockout style, which I think proved very effective.
That was too brutal.
No, I think of course it was brutal.
If they continue like that, I think we'll be seeing the likes of Porto.
Why?
Villarreal, all these teams eventually win the Champions League.
That's why I don't agree with.
I don't understand.
You guys keep making arguments about this decision favors these people more than these people.
I don't understand.
I don't agree with that.
Ajax knocked out.
It was announced.
Ajax knocked out Juventus.
Look, it was announced that we are going to a playing a neutral ground.
Not like I have an advantage.
Since say we play, and the general agreement or the general knowledge is that, you know, on a one-off game, the better team is supposed to be able to.
Exactly.
You know, on a one-off game, the better team. Yeah, but you know, this is also a one-off game. Bring what you can. Bring it now. You are Real Madrid. They are saying it's because it's not over 2 legs.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So,
but I still think it gives the smaller teams opportunity.
I
the better chance.
Ajax Juventus.
A fair chance to do.
Ajax Juventus.
How?
does that make sense?
It's winner takes all now.
Is that not why the bigger teams should be happy?
Exactly.
When you beat 2 here, don't come back.
Don't come back again.
You are a big team because you always, if it's over 2 legs, that's why you show your big character.
I don't understand.
You lose first leg, you know that you can always come back.
The
mentality is there. But you know, do you know why I said I don't like knockout? Because it is when imagine a team like let's say Man City, Villarreal plays now, and Villarreal wins 1-0, and there's no second leg.
Yeah.
City will win 2-1.
So if there was second leg, would you put your money on Villarreal going through?
Second leg, City will win 2-1. City will qualify on the
winning.
Let me just quickly tell him. Yes. After you've been insulting some things that the government are doing. Now you agree that these teams are bigger. They have more money. They have more players. They have everything. But because this one leg to you favor the smaller team, is not good enough.
Which is not even true anyways.
Which is not even true in the first place. So if they leave it to you, you play final over 2 legs.
It actually favors the big team. Left to IBK, we will play four
finals.
Games, four games, small league format.
Then you now decide
the final game, penalties. just to make sure. So there is, I think, so I mean, just to wrap up on season objective, how far do you think City go?
Semi-final.
Do you think they go all the way until they meet a team like Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
Or who would be?
No, the story of City in the Champions League has been, you know, they can get knocked out by anyone, and that's the issue. And as good
on
as
any given day,
on any given day, as good as City can be, I just don't see them winning the title. They might prove me wrong this year, but there are no indications, right? They can score 5 goals and all these things in the group stages, and then they get to the semi-final. And that nonsense, I say the manager
overthinking. I saw for Tico yesterday.
Yeah, that nonsense. He's overthinking. The guy has gotten it wrong. That's what he has done. So that's why I just don't see it happening. Maybe they prove me wrong this year, but I don't think they win it.
Always a pleasure to have you on the Hindsight Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment. We'd just like to have your thoughts shared on the Hindsight Podcast. It's great fun for us recording this one, and we also love to hear from you as well. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your messages, your comments. See you again in the next episode.